All right, guys, the final injury report of Week 7 Packers versus Texans just came out, and it seems like the Packers are getting healthier. They only list 2 players questionable on this report and 1 player out. Now, their injury report is pretty long, but a lot of players, including a lot of the starters that are on the injury report, have no designation this week. Where the past couple of weeks, we've seen 6 players, 7 players questionable. It seems like the Packers are finally getting a bit healthier. So in this video, we're going to break down the injury report, take a look at the Houston Texans injury report as well. I'm very interested to see what that is. Because there's a lot of players that weren't practicing, a lot of key players for them, so interested to take a look at that as well. Go down and click subscribe if you are a new viewer here and want to stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers. You'll find it all here on this channel. And after this, if you want to go watch the game preview, if you missed that, I was live this morning to go over the game preview. I do it every Friday mid-afternoon, so you can just go over to the live tab on my channel, click on that, and watch the game preview as well. All right, so without further ado, let's dive right into it. Let's bring up the screen and let's go over the Packers injury report. We'll start with the players with designations, as those are the important ones. Dontavian Wicks limited all week and is questionable. Matt LaFleur said this after practice today, that he's going to be questionable. So the fact that he practiced all week bodes well for him being available in this game. But if the Packers don't feel he's ready, you know, we have plenty of other wide receivers that are willing to step up in his place, as we saw last week. Romeo Doubs leading the team in touchdowns, Christian Watson leading the team in yards, and Jayden Reed leading the team in reception. So I'd love to see Wicks come back, but the Packers have so much depth at wide receiver. If they need to hold him out for a game here, he hasn't even missed a game with the shoulder injury yet. I would understand that. Then we see Colby Wooden, who did not participate, new addition to the injury report this week with a knee injury, but limited the last 2 days. He is also questionable. The Packers have yet to activate Jonathan Ford, as we see up here. He's been a full participant all week. They said they might be doing that. I just don't know who they're going to end up cutting to make that move for this upcoming game. We see Devontae Wyatt still out, didn't practice all week. So at this point, they should have just placed him on IR a few weeks ago, but now it's too late to do that. You wouldn't do that and then restart that clock and have him out another 4 weeks. Matt LaFleur mentioned we've seen him move around at practice, and he's hopeful that he's going to get back into it next week. And I would assume that means he's going to at least start practicing in some form, limited form, next week. But he didn't practice all week, and he is out. The rest of the players on the injury report, as I mentioned when we started this video, a lot of starters that are on the injury report, but no designations, where in weeks past we saw a lot of these players with designations, including Christian Watson, Jayden Reed. They were limited all week, no designation. Tucker Kraft limited all week, no designation. Josh Myers with his neck injury that he suffered in last week's game, only missed 5 snaps, was limited the first 2 days, full today, no designation. Elton Jenkins, who did not participate Wednesday, we all assumed that was just a rest day. That is the case because limited yesterday, full today, no designation. We already talked about Jonathan Ford, and then of course Kenny Clark and Jair, no designation. So again, a lot of starters, a lot of players on here over the past few weeks. They were questionable. Now they have no designation. So it's just 2 here with 1 out. It's definitely a progression or a step in the right direction. Taking a look at the Houston Texans injury report here. This is massive, guys. Don't take this lightly. We have Azeez Al-Shaair and Henry 2020, again, hope I'm saying that right, both out. These are their both starting inside linebackers. Azeez Al-Shaair has been their Mike. He's been their tackle machine. He's been one of the better linebackers via PFF this season. He is out with his knee injury. That is massive. And then also Henry 2020 here out with the concussion. So they're going to turn to Neville Hewitt and Christian Harris at linebacker. They're going to be very thin at linebacker and inexperienced guys that haven't played too much here in this season. So the Packers should be able to attack those linebackers, whether that's in the run game or across the middle with Jayden Reed, Tucker Kraft. I was hoping at least one of these guys would be out. The fact that they're both out, this is huge for the Texans defense. We see questionable here for Fadakasi. He's one of the worst graded defensive linemen in the NFL, so I kind of want this guy to play, if I'm being honest. Kamari Lassiter is out, did not participate all week. We also see Jimmy Ward and Robert Woods out, and Steven Sims questionable. So a couple wide receivers, a safety, Jimmy Ward. And then we also see Laramie Tunsil with no designation. That was something to monitor going into this week. He left the last game with an ankle injury, but he's all good to go. Joe Mixon, we expected him good to go, and we're going to have to keep tabs on him as well in the run game. He's definitely a tough runner. And then Delshon Phillips at linebacker, he's good to go as well. So the Texans definitely more banged up than the Green Bay Packers. And we're usually not used to saying that, hey, this team is more banged up than us. Usually our injury report looks worse than the other team's injury report, but in this case it doesn't. And again, both of these starting linebackers being out is huge for the Houston Texans defense, and the Packers should be able to attack that. But that does it for the final injury report, Week 7 versus the Houston Texans. Very excited for this game. I'm so glad it's again in Green Bay. I wish it was a primetime game, but for some reason it's a 1 o'clock game. I will be live for this game as well Sunday, about 10 to 15 minutes before kickoff, so make sure to come on over to the channel and hang out during the live stream. But I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.